The latest report suggests that WWE's strategy of fewer house shows with higher ticket price for its live events all around is here to stay. This approach makes sense on multiple levels. Being on the road in and off itself costs significant money in bank booking venues, transporting equipment, and coordinating travel for talents. If WWE can make what profits it generated back by charging more for its tickets, and fans prove willing to pay the higher prices, though there's some resistance to that and promotions like AEW are poised to take advantage. It's simple enough math to see fewer house shows makes sense. There is the added benefit too that talents face a less rigorous schedule which offers them more time at home with their loved ones, besides less wear and tear on their bodies from taking extra bumps on the road. Despite the obvious benefits of this model, there are some drawbacks. Indeed, calling on wisdom from years past, WWE may unintentionally be gambling with its own future in embracing a philosophy of hosting fewer live events. Read any given wrestling legend's memoir, and a common thread tends to emerge. There was no substitute for their lessons learned via life on the road. Indeed, there is a near universal consumption that wrestlers only get better by getting their reps in working match after match across time. As a specific example, Triple H referenced in his The Kingdom Come documentary that he explicitly chose WWE over WCW because he had wrestled more dates, recognizing that's the only way he was going to become great. In addition to wrestling frequently, there is matter of travel between towns as an up and coming wrestlers. Countless old timers recount listening to veterans in the car, in airports, and in hotel rooms to accumulate wisdom about the business. While that dynamic won't go away completely, spending significantly less time on the road all but necessarily does mean less exposure to experienced voices and fewer organic opportunities for a long conversation. As Chris Jericho spelled out in the True Story of WrestleMania documentary, moments that happen at WrestleMania are subject to immortality because they have the most eyes on them in what's expected to be the most important show of the year. People remember what happens that occurs to a lesser degree on other PLEs and to a slightly lesser degree than on episodes of Raw and SmackDown. What happens on a house show typically gets forgotten. There's a way in which that devalues house show match and promos because they are less watched, less documented, and can sometimes even be considered non-canon if they don't factor into or even diverge from TV storylines altogether. Heck, some shows how outcomes have even resulted in phantom title changes. There is a positive side to all that too, though, as house shows offer opportunities for experimentation. Trying out an outside the box move at WrestleMania risks an embarrassing outcome that lives on in an infamy like Brock Lesnar's botched shooting star press in 2003, experimenting with new offense, a new style of promo, or even a new gimmick to altogether on a house show offers an opportunity to try things out in front of a live audience that cared enough to come to the arena and see what happens. That's not to say wrestlers can take creative risk on TV, but the stakes are higher, and with TV time at a premium, ideas that are really outside the box may have far less opportunity to see the light of day without as many house shows. To be fair, there are opportunities for WWE to recreate some of its losses without house shows by other means. The last year has seen a formal relationship take shape with TNA that allows NXT talent, in particular, to appear on a different brand in front of a different audience with a different slate of opponents. WWE has also demonstrated a greater willingness in recent years to let the talents wrestle for other promotions, like Natalia appearing for Josh Barnett Bloodsport or Shinsuke Nakamura wrestling the Great Muta of Pro Wrestling NOAH. On top of all that, WWE is welcoming outside talent more, especially for Royal Rumble appearances that help mix up whom their talents are working with. Each of these ventures allow WWE talent to get out of the strict parameters of WWE programming and work more despite a loss of house show opportunities. As long as the situation at hand remain one-offs or bound by very specific relationship, though they are not going to set up talent for the same kinds of chances to go from town to town, fine-tuning their acts to polish them up for a TV spotlight. Yes, these moves make obvious short-term business sense in the long term. However, it may have really hurt newer talents' ability to grow into featured roles. So guys, these all are the news and updates for this video. Before leaving, do like, share and subscribe. Follow us on Instagram. We will meet in our next video. Till then, thanks for watching.